Hi, it's Larry here of Xbox's Major Nelson. Welcome to the official Xbox podcast. Welcome to 2022. This is our first show of the new year. If you are a new or returning viewer or listener, welcome. This is the only podcast that you will get straight from Xbox or available on YouTube, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts, and many of your finer podcast services. We drop most Fridays. Here we all are. Jeff is over to the left there. Rebecca to the right. Hey, gang, welcome back.
Hey. Are these new headphones?
Happy New Year.
Well, it's funny. I usually wear my in-ears, but I happen to have these sitting on my desk, and I don't know. This reminds me of my old radio days, so it's a little bit more, I don't know.
Just look a little weird. I don't know.
So it's the microphone and the headphones. We're going to get critiqued for that, like we talked about.
I don't know. It just I don't know. It's just I'm looking at it and like Larry looks like an alien a little bit today.
Well, I don't want to do that to you. Jeez,
I'm just getting used to it.
Anyway, it's
I mean,
great
while
to
we're
see
on
you
the
guys.
topic, I feel like you don't usually wear headphones either, but there you are.
I got yelled at for echoes because I would just have like the two of you blasting in the background. They're like, "You're ruining the show." So,
well, as most people know, I'm a little bit fussy about my audio, and I want to make sure that the audio is great. And it's a little challenging because you didn't have a microphone or you didn't have the headphones. Rebecca's in New York City, which presents, not because of Rebecca, but because New York City presents a whole other, cacophony of sounds, some of which are expected.
Also because of Rebecca.
Some of which are not. By the way, Jeff, can we just recognize, and viewers, can we just recognize Rebecca's nice light show behind her over her left shoulder?
Oh, stop.
Is this coming live from Rockefeller Center? Is the tree
what's
still
going
up?
on there? I love it.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm reliving my dorm room days. So just, like a decade later.
I love those lights. It's very colorful. So thank you for that. I remember now, Rebecca, do you remember because Rebecca went to Syracuse University as well as I did, and Jeff, you went up there with me, but do you remember how you used to tell weather at Syracuse University? Do you remember the Money Tower?
No, I don't remember.
So Jeff, in the center of Syracuse was the Money Tower, MONEY, was some company, I think it was a bank or something, Money Bank. But at the top was this huge tower. It was huge back in the day. It was probably like 10 stories. And it depended on the lighting and how the lights were going, what the weather was going to be. So if the lights are going up, the weather was going to go, the temperature was up. If they were going down, if it was flashing, of course, the old joke is if you can't see it, it's snowing. But it would tell you what the weather is. So I'm wondering, are the lights behind you going to tell us the weather in Midtown Manhattan?
So one, I didn't live on campus, and then two, I think I'm young enough that I had the weather app on my phone back then.
Yeah, you had the
internet. Sorry, Larry.
But you could also tell the score of the Orange Men because it would blink, for every touchdown that they scored, and It was in Morse code. Okay, maybe that wasn't.
We had to read it in the Daily Orange the next day. Okay, there
that's
you
exactly
go.
what it was.
Anyway, enough about that. But anyway, welcome back, Rebecca. Did you have a good break, Rebecca? Did you travel? Were you in New York most of the time? What'd you do?
Yeah, I had a great break. I spent a little bit of time in the city before coming home for the holidays, so I got to experience Christmas in New York. It was great and not as cold as I'd expected.
I saw some pictures from you at Rockefeller Center. Isn't it awesome?
Oh my gosh, it's awesome, but there were so many people.
Yeah.
Like it was just as packed as any show. Yeah, exactly. It was just insane how many people there were, because I think last year not that many people came, so then this year everyone wanted to go crazy. But yeah, and then I think I escaped New York just before Omicron exploded, and I was back in Seattle for the holidays. It's funny. We actually, in a meeting this week, someone was like, what were you grateful for over the holidays? And everyone's like, oh, family time, blah, blah. I was like, well, I watched some really good TV and movies over the break. Let me tell you, I'm grateful for that.
Did you watch the Beatles documentary?
No, I didn't. Was it good?
Oh, Jeff, have you watched? Are you not Beatles fans?
Only if the tower tells me I should be listening to them up on Syracuse Hill.
Well, this, for those of you that don't know, it's what is it? It's the Get Back documentary on Disney Plus, and it's Peter Jackson's project, where there were many hundreds of hours of real high quality film, and it was edited down. I think it was finally ended up at 3 or 4 episodes, total 17 hours. And it's really, really interesting. There's
better be for 17 hours.
There's a little bit of the sound in New York I hear coming through from Rebecca.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I guess if you didn't watch it, you didn't watch it. But okay, now I feel terrible.
But Jeff, you would recommend it.
If you're a Beatles fan, or if you're just a fan of rock music documentaries, it is really quite good. It is really quite good. It's interesting because it simultaneously humanizes the Beatles and deifies them. Because, and here's why. You see them going through you see the raw creative process of them creating some of the music that we all know of today that's, 40, 50 years old. But so you see they're just normal people kind of working through the chords, and Paul McCartney's trying to figure something out while Yoko's screeching into the microphone. And then all of a sudden you see that they create this genius. So that's why I'm saying it humanizes them, because we've all been there trying to create something, but then you realize how they're just a step above everybody else. So that's all.
I watched The Witcher.
Yeah,
it was good.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
They also deified Geralt while humanizing him. And so
I love being
kind of
made
watched
fun
the same
of.
thing. I'm not making... Oh, okay, a little bit.
Anyway, so I'm sorry, Rebecca, you were watching a lot of TV. What did you watch, if we can ask?
I know. I feel like I had so much time. Like, I had initially made so many plans to like get together with friends and like go do things. And then everything, I'm sorry. And then everything got canceled because every few days I was getting a text from someone saying, oh, I tested positive, or I was exposed to someone. So I just stayed at home all the time. Let's see, watched Wheel of Time on Amazon Prime, which was interesting. I'm curious to see where they go season 2. I don't know. Did you guys watch that one?
I did not, but I watched on Amazon Prime. I watched the Being the Ricardos. Have you seen that one? About
How is that? No.
I got to tell you, I'm not a fan of Nicole Kidman. I just, for some reason, she just really interested me as an actress.
Really?
But
She's one of my favorite actresses.
She nailed Lucille Ball. It was stunning. Like, I was like, I'm now a fan. So even if you don't know that much about I Love Lucy, and as Jeff knows, I'm a fan of old television for what they did. But it's enjoyable. So if it's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
But I did not watch.
I have to check that one out.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Well, I also just started, I think it came out last year, Invincible on Amazon Prime, and I really like it so far. It's really good.
Okay.
It's by it's like a superhero animated series, but it's by the creators of The Walking Dead. So it's not quite so PG and
dark.
I don't know. It's a little dark. Yeah, I would definitely recommend watching it.
All right.
Also on Netflix, I'm not normally one for like dating shows, but Singles Inferno it's like this Korean dating show on an island, and it is just like cringe the whole season, because I think I don't know, dating in Korea is like a little bit more conservative than here, and like people are a little bit more modest and stuff. I don't know. There were so many like cringe and like really funny moments. So I'd recommend watching it too.
Is this a show that has the same group of people through the entire season, or is it different groups of people?
Yeah, it's the same group of people, and it's only over the course of like 5 days. Whereas I think a lot of other dating shows, they're like weeks. But
or at least it's shot over 5 days and they stretch it into a week.
They make you think it is. And you get to propose to somebody you've known for like a week. Yeah.
All right. Well,
yeah.
What about?
But I also got to
go ahead.
Games.
Yeah, let's talk about video games. That's what people are here for. Let's talk about what you're playing.
Yeah, so let's see. Obviously, I've been playing Halo Infinite, but I think I'm starting to get discouraged. I don't know if I feel like you get to a point where you're like, oh, I used to be really good at this game. And now I'm like, oh, the time to kill is kind of killing me. And maybe I'm not as good at Halo as I thought I was. So I don't know. Have you guys been playing a lot of Halo? I
think Jeff and I have been playing. We've been looking for you, and we
almost every night.
Yeah, we're playing pretty much every night. In fact, we were playing a couple games the other night. We're like, oh, let's just stump over there. I feel your pain, Rebecca. I completely feel your pain. What we've tried to do is, we jump into big team battle where your individual contribution is not measured so greatly. So it's we've had some good games, haven't we, Jeff?
Yeah. Well, what we found is it really depends on who we're playing with, and I feel like we get match made, and I don't know too much about how the algorithm works with the matchmaking, but there's someone that we play with who's very good.
Yep.
And when we play with him, we're being carried by him, and we struggle, but we've gotten better. Then he's in like Central Time or
so he signs off, and all of a sudden,
and then all of a sudden it's just like we're just rolling.
Jeff's at the top.
It's almost like high altitude training. And it's
crazy.
We're like training and then we come down to sea level, and it's like we're just. I mean, like what 20-7 the other night, and I was like, how?
We're eating a lot of steak for our steak-taculars, aren't we?
Yes, very good. Yeah, oh man, we had a good CTF last night where they didn't even know what hit them, and so. I've never been this much into Halo before, like going all the way back through the original and 2 and 3. I've been it's every night because there's just been such a great, steady group of people on there that I'm like, oh, I'm going to jump in with you. Yeah. And Halo is that type of game where sometimes you're eating steak and sometimes you're the steak.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of times where I'm like, wow, we got rolled. But it's over quick enough that you let
rinse it off and you keep going.
And you find, what you're good at and what your role is. And like, I can't snipe, and that's fine. But, as you learn the maps, I've found places where I can reliably get the jump on people. And it is what it is. So we'd love to play with you, but time zones suck. So
time zones are challenging. What else? So you're playing Halo. Have you done any single player action, Rebecca?
Yeah, I started The Artful Escape. Finally, it's pretty good. Yeah,
Johnny Galvatron.
I'll keep you posted.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I keep thinking about it.
That interview that Jeff
did. Yeah, classic. And then I jumped back into Overcooked 2. I've been playing that one with my roommate. I Overcooked and Overcooked 2. Yeah. Wait, what?
There's no way to break up a friendship than playing Overcooked with them. Like that is just
you just have to have a lot of patience.
Right.
Yeah.
It's Overcooked has taught me leadership skills. I can't, be shouting, "Go chop the tomatoes already," or anything like that. You have to be really polite with it. Try not to hurt feelings. But Overcooked and Overcooked 2 are really good couch co-op. If you're playing with like your partner or friends, or especially people who aren't super familiar with gaming, it's a really good game to play with them. So I can never recommend the Overcooked series enough.
All right.
What about you guys? What have you been playing?
Jeff, why don't you bring up what you're playing? Because then we'll get to what I've been working on.
Yeah. So if we can go full screen here, or maybe not because I think the controller shut off. Give me 1 second.
Well, I'll go full screen anyway, so you can. There you go.
There you go. So right around the time Halo came out, multiplayer, which was surprised people and everyone jumped into it. But later that week, Riot Games. We know them from League of Legends and. That obviously that's their big one. They've got Valorant as well. So 2 of the biggest games in the world. 2 games I just don't play. Like very high skill level, huge amount of like dedication that I think you need to get in there and play well. But they have great IP and they've spent a lot of time, building up the world, the lore, the characters, and all that stuff. And so they have a subgroup called Riot Forge, which built and released on Xbox that in mid-November a turn-based RPG called The Ruined King. And I had some time over the break. It snowed. We couldn't leave the house. And so I loaded it up and it turns out it's really great. And so if you like RPGs, it's very much like strategic in terms of, how things work. It has a really cool sort of system. If you play Final Fantasies, or I've been playing a lot of Octopath Traveler, the way that, there's risk reward and you can do like more powerful moves, but they take longer and you can sort of see there's always this sort of like this calculus going on, but like not calculus because I would suck at it of like, okay, do I save up for like the big hit and try to knock them out in one blow? Or do I try to chip them all at once? And each situation's a little bit different. And it's just really cool. So I reckon if any of those things I said sound good, definitely check it out. As someone who never has played League and probably won't play League, really getting into it. Obviously, I don't know what the world is. I don't know who these characters are, but I'm learning who they are. And it's just really super interesting. So very well done to Riot Forge and the devs there, pulling me into that universe through a completely different vector.
Great. I didn't realize you were playing that one.
Yeah. It's been sort of my, after Halo, after you sign off, I'm like, okay, time to go to Bilgewater is the place.
Not to go back to TV too far, but did you watch Arcane on Netflix?
I did not.
What's funny is I downloaded it because I was like, okay, because people are saying that even if you don't watch League, like Arcane is fantastic. So I have it downloaded really on Netflix. Good. I'm going to be visiting family this week, so I'm planning on watching it then. I feel like maybe I'm getting a little bit more invested. Again, probably is not going to make me start playing League, but that's okay. And the fact that they've built IP that can go across genres and across different types of media.
Yeah, it's awesome.
is really cool. So it's a good shout, and universally rated just like phenomenally well. So I'm looking forward to having that. One other game that I was able to finish over the break that I've been playing like all fall is Lost Judgment. As you recall, we had
we haven't mentioned that in a long time.
Of Yakuza. I've been playing it in the background here and there. I ended up on like this 20-hour side mission where you sort of are like kind of undercover at a school, uncovering like this.
Hello, fellow kids.
It's a whole thing. There's a lot of that. I joined a biker gang. I coached the dance team. I joined the robotics team. I mean, like a million. I got into a skateboard competition. Like,
did you win?
The craziest stuff. Most of them, yes, and figured out who the sort of like the mastermind is here. Anyway, ended up being one of my favorite games of the year, and like more than ever now, I just wish I could go visit Japan because I know exactly now where these things are. They really take the map from actual Yokohama, Tokyo near the Shinjuku area, and from other places, and like you can like these are like real streets. I was so into it. I went on Google Street View, and like there's certain streets where I'm like, you can walk down and some of the same stores are there.
Yeah.
Obviously some are changed because it's fictionalized. And I just, that game just takes you into that world. And I really want to be skateboarding down the streets of Yokohama. And then of course, quickly breaking my neck. But we'll see how that goes. Maybe that's something that'll happen later.
All right, good. So so you pretty much stayed in the area, in Seattle area, right, Jeff, for the holiday?
I did visit my folks in Florida briefly, and it was very much like sort of bullet time matrixing, avoiding getting COVID, like, oh, that person coughed, and like dodging and weaving. And so far so good, I think. But for the most part, sitting at home, snowing outside, Seattle shuts down. That's why I didn't get to see you, Rebecca, and playing a lot of games. And that was great. That was exactly what I needed.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because I had the chance. I traveled back east to New England for Christmas and was out there for about a week playing some games on xCloud using my Surface Duo, playing a little bit of that. But yeah, it was funny to your point, Jeff. That's when Omicron was starting to. Really, it's continuing to go, but I was N95ing and being careful and doing all that stuff. But I came back, played. It's funny. I played a game over the break that it appeared on Game Pass. And let me pop it up here. Actually, I can't do that right now. It's The Pedestrian, and I know Jeff, you and I have talked about this, and I've been like, Jeff, you got to play The Pedestrian. You got to play. Have you checked this out, Rebecca? You haven't seen it, okay. I guess that's okay. Yep. It's
downloaded it.
Show us.
Downloaded it.
It's kind of here. Let me see if I can pull it together here. Do I have? Bear with me. I'm gonna see if I
watched the trailer. The trailer seems to show pretty well, like how the game seems to work.
Yeah, and
it looks pretty visually interesting.
Yeah, it's all it is really just and I don't really want to do too much because I don't want to spoil it. But it's essentially you're navigating little characters through street signs.
A platformer.
Yeah, it's a platform puzzler. It's on Game Pass. Check it out now. It's been out for about a year and a half, and it's very relaxing and it's fun. So Pedestrian. And what's great is I know that we've rolled this feature out, in the middle of the fall for Game Pass Ultimate members, where you can basically stream games to your console. So I was just kind of flipping through, and I started playing it in like 10 seconds. And started kind of, let me download this. So I downloaded the whole thing. It wasn't that large, but it was great to be able to use that feature to kind of browse some games. And again, to find we always talk about at Game Pass finding your next great game. And this is a way, it takes the barrier to entry and just brings it way down. So that was a lot of fun to do that. What else am I playing?
Yeah, you can try it out and then you can decide, I'm into this. I'll download it. But like for people that might have data caps, raising hand, or it might be like a 50 gig download for something. If you can stream it, try it out, and you'll know, this is something I want. Look at you just showing off Rainbow Six Extraction.
Well, I've got that queued up ready, but here's the Pedestrian here, and you can kind of see this is your character, and you kind of have to, so you kind of have to use your smarts to get through the different doors and puzzles. And where am I going to go here? So you can kind of get a sense. Yeah, it goes from like side to side and up and down, and it goes around here. It's very, very interesting. So, I mean, this is
is that a Game Boy?
Pretty unique.
I think it is. Well, yeah. So it's funny, Jeff. You have to go down here, and you have to go down into this thing, and take the battery, and like light up different parts. See, I'm taking the battery.
Little does she know the battery for the Game Boy lasted like an hour and 10 minutes.
Right.
Most.
So anyway, so that's later on in the game, by the way. So it'll walk you through and do everything. But that's a look at the pedestrian. That's one thing I've been playing. Far Cry 6 has some DLC that they included.
We'll talk about that in a second. Did you play it?
I started playing it. I don't feel like I've gotten the full taste of it yet, but I started playing it. So I'm just kind of, it was fun to be around over the holidays. And as I said earlier at the top of the show, I spent some time redoing the distribution pipeline for this podcast. So a great example is we're on Spotify now. We've been on Spotify for years and years and years, but we are now one of a handful of podcasts where it's now video. So if you're listening to it, right, there's the reaction shot. There it is. You can now watch the video in your spot. What are you doing? Oh, I see you're glamming up.
And, if I knew I was going to be on Spotify, I mean, it's a little...
Yeah, so we can watch. You can now, in addition to listening to it, you can watch it. And it's not two separate files. It just takes the video file and plays the audio in the background if you don't want to watch it. So we're on there. We're also now on a bunch of distribution platforms. We've been on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts forever, but there's a bunch of other, Stitcher and the rest of them you can find us on. So I'll put a link in the show notes to the Source of Truth, as I like to call it. If you want to subscribe, this is where you subscribe and do all of that thing. So you'll start to see a lot more traffic coming in. So a lot of new folks, Jeff.
What are the odds like Taylor Swift will see us? Like she'll open up Spotify and she'll be like,
so specific.
Who are these people?
Yeah, I don't. Well, it's weird. I don't know.
But it's possible. I mean, I don't know.
It is possible. I know there's a lot of folks that want to have different experiences on podcasts, with their podcasts, and you can see what I did.
I mean, what if she listens to podcasts and you're highlighted as like a video pod? I'm just saying it's possible.
So, anyway,
I heard she's a Phillies fan. I guess so. I don't know.
Is she into gaming? I feel like she probably wouldn't. I don't know, unless she's into gaming. But I don't know very much about it.
She's not going to watch it, but just might see our faces on the thumbnail and then
quickly swipe away.
The app. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that?
Maybe like Japanese Breakfast might see us. We've talked about them on the show. That would be great.
Yep. So
let me have this.
And it's interesting, Jeff, I want to point out, and Rebecca, there is...
Taylor's definitely going to see us.
And I'll put a link in the show notes for it's Anchor, ANCHOR, is the platform, kind of the back end that Spotify uses. And that's where we're distributing to all the different other platforms, distributing. But if you go into Anchor, and I'll put a link in, people can send us voice messages that I can play on the show.
Ooh.
Like Taylor Swift could leave us a voice.
That's what I'm getting at. Is Taylor
like on... In the realm of possibility.
Yeah, I'm trying to again make it easy for folks to give us feedback. Now I can't play all the voice messages, and maybe I can't even play any of them. I don't know, but you'll see a link that says send voice message, and I'll definitely listen.
Well, can we ask our audience, Tay Swift or otherwise, to maybe
did you say Tay Swift?
We should look into, or otherwise, like everyone who's listening.
Right.
I'm just assuming what could be your mom, Rebecca.
Yep. Yeah, Rebecca's mom. I'd love to get a message from Rebecca's mom.
And
my gosh, I don't know if she could figure out how to do it on Spotify.
That's true. Well, it's pretty easy.
Could we commit to playing a select?
I will find a couple if they send it in, people that have been with us, either new listeners, returning listeners. Now, I want to be clear. It's still going to be, the show's always going to be available on YouTube. That's not going anywhere because we love seeing the comments over there that Rebecca's mom needs to read those. But this is just another outlet on Spotify. So just keep that in mind.
For us to rub elbows with the Grammy crowd.
Yeah, exactly. We're over there. Maybe you can find my house, my house music channel that I like to have. So
I'm going to dress so much better next week. I'm getting a haircut. Shave, frost my tips.
Right. Okay. Here we go. Anyway, so that was kind of the holiday. It was nice to catch up with family and friends and games. And Jeff, I didn't get to see you, and Rebecca, I certainly didn't get to see you when you were back. Jeff and I got together in person IRL last week. So it was good.
We had chicken sandwiches.
Well, actually, we didn't just have chicken sandwiches. We we buffed up your PC. We dropped a new hard drive in it. We installed. We did some install. We got some stuff going. It was fun.
Got the new camera on here, so I was able to put on the Elgato face cam. So I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, I'm just going to go bigger screen so people can enjoy it just all that much better. But yeah, it was fun to do that. But we're getting back into 2022. It's a new year. It's all sorts of fun.
You have to think about it. Like, where does this one again?
Yeah, really.
I feel like we've done this before.
What's the year? But we want to talk a little bit about the games we're looking forward to this year. Jeff, I know you've got some in front of you and some notes in front of you. Talk about the news and what we're looking forward to. Should we do that?
Yeah, sure. Well, just briefly. So on Xbox Wire, the team which I'm part of, just sort of went around to different folks around the company, people that you might know, like Craig Duncan from Rare, and just a large number really of folks working in Xbox Game Studios, and I think Larry, and a number of other folks, and just said, what are you looking forward to this year? Just as like a way of sort of thinking about, wow, 2022, there's some really cool games scheduled. And I was asked, and the one, they didn't want everyone picking Elden Ring and everyone picking Starfield. So I actually picked Saints Row.
I love those.
I thought the trailer last year, I always enjoyed those games. And I thought the trailer, the new look, it's sort of, I guess, a reboot. It doesn't have a number on it. Saints Row 3 was just amazing, and 4 had so much fun times with that, and the original. And so this new world taking place in like the American Southwest, I don't know, seems really cool. I'm very down for it. The characters seem like fun. I feel like they're going to embrace the fun, and that's something I'm looking forward to. I believe it's coming out August 23rd. So that's one of many games I'm looking forward to playing this year.
Yeah, there's a lot as you know, and we've got a lot more that I'm sure haven't been announced that we're gonna see. We're excited about that. You know, if you go to that piece, and Jeff, I don't know if you want to send me that link, or I can I'll put it in the show notes about.
As we're filming this, like it hasn't quite gone up. I think it's going to go up to tomorrow.
By the time this airs, by the time we post this,
exactly.
Yeah. So we'll have that over there. Yeah, I chose Slime Ranchers 2 because so many people are playing. Did you play the original, Rebecca? Did you suck up slime in Slime Ranchers? You didn't do that? It was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And there's like millions of people playing this game. So I was like, hey, there's a sequel coming. And that's just one, as Jeff said, we all kind of chose just one title. There's a lot of titles. Who chose Starfield, Jeff?
Did you remember?
I'll have to look. Okay. I think that we had to tell everyone, like, please don't all choose Starfield.
Like, did Phil get it? Did Phil choose Starfield? Phil got the good one.
I'm going to look.
Anyway, I'm sorry, Rebecca. What were you going to say?
I was going to ask, is Slime Ranchers on like the original on Game Pass so I can try it out? Or
it was, and I know this one's coming day and date. Slime Ranchers 2 is coming day and date to Game Pass. Thank you for the setup for that. But yeah, nice. I think the original one was for a while, and they kind of come and go. So hopefully it'll be back up there by the time Slime Ranchers 2 ships. Yes, Jeff.
Bonnie Ross chose Starfield.
She did, the head of 343.
Yes, and then Aaron Greenberg also chose Starfield. You weren't going to tell him no. And so,
but you can. He just won't listen.
We took it off the board after that. But a lot of games showed up here, like Tunic, Midnight Suns, Redfall, Slime Rancher 2, Somerville, Rainbow Six Extraction, Plague Tale Requiem. That's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. Stalker 2, which now has a December date that we discovered this week. Elden Ring, of course. Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, Dying Light 2. There's gonna be so much to play this year.
Good.
I am really curious about Rainbow Six Extraction. So we'll play that next weekend because it releases next week.
Yep.
I just went and rewatched the trailer after Jeff. Like I saw you tagged us in a tweet. I'm not very good at responding to things on Twitter, but I see everything. But I went back and rewatched the trailer from the E3 timeframe last year. Oh, nice. It really looks like Alien Fireteam meets Back 4 Blood almost, like just like the different types of aliens, but it looks
Don't break an embargo, Larry. You're not allowed to say anything. I know
not
you want
saying
to,
anything
because I know you've played it.
I'm winding up here. Nope, I'm not allowed to say anything. It's
next week we can talk.
That's an interesting way to put it, Rebecca. Awesome. We'll have to talk about that next week. So.
Okay, we'll see if I still feel that way after we play.
All right. Yeah. So there's that coming out. The other one by the way, Jeff, you didn't mention the other one you see on my most recently used list here. God, I love this game. Outer
Wilds,
yeah.
which is back into Xbox Game Pass and has a really large DLC, like to the point where calling it DLC is almost like a misnomer because it's bigger or as big as the original game, right?
Yeah. Anyway, that was one. If you like puzzles, I mean, I can't say that one. Speaking of puzzles, are you guys playing Wordle?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's brutal. That is just sometimes. It's just
I don't want to be
one
one of these people that tweets about it. Although I mean, the tweeting did its part because it got me to try it. But we'll generally throw them in Teams chat because you can copy it and drop it in, and you still see the boxes the same way. I'm going to start doing that to you all because
it's funny because I'm on a thread with my sisters who are, one is a doctor and the other one is a librarian, and
you're at a real disadvantage here.
I've always been a disadvantage in my family, so they are just destroying me. I think I gave up playing Scrabble with them about 15 or 20 years ago. I just won't do it. I just will not do it.
So it's Wordle, WORDLE for anyone who wants to try it out. It's just, you can just find it in browser. It's a word puzzle that changes daily.
Yeah, and because for some reason they don't have that URL, just go to powerlanguage.co.uk. And that's
just search for it. You'll find it. What were you going to say, Rebecca?
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say it's I don't know. Actually, I was going to say it's easier for some of us than others, but I've been stumped a couple of times, so I'm not really one to brag about it, but it's been good fodder for bragging sometimes with my friends. So recommend trying it out.
Yeah. Did you see?
What I think has been the interesting conversation is what is the first word you use?
Right.
Because every time you're starting with nothing. And so I always start with the word stand. It has a S, a T, an A, and a D, obviously. And I figure like that covers like a decent gamut.
Has it worked for you so far?
I solved most of them in 3 to 4 turns.
Okay.
The worst I ever had was 6.
Have you solved today's?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, because I wanted to talk about. Do you guys want to do it while we're talking here? Because I think we should.
Damn.
I mean, all right. Why do you? Can you go full screen on yours, or you've already solved it?
Yeah, I've already solved it, so I don't want to do that. But
let's do that next week.
Because there's a little bit of drama around today's word, and I can't discuss that drama until you guys solve it.
Okay.
So
I will. We'll talk about it afterwards. I like that.
So I don't know if you want to play it now. We can continue, or Jeff, do you want to continue on with the news?
We have a thing that we have to do in 5 minutes.
We got to wrap up.
So otherwise, I would love to. Real quickly, I just want to call out a couple very brief news things that we're going to be playing that are coming out on Game Pass. They were announced last week, coming out this week. So one of those is Spelunky 2. In some ways, I can't call it the original roguelike because that was Rogue. But I think
they're not called Spelunky likes.
But I think Spelunky was one of the ones that kind of really popularized it among the console crowd. So Spelunky 2 coming this week by the time you listen to this on Xbox Game Pass. Also, this is just like a great period of time, I think, for co-op shooters and a game that I want to play with you all. The Anacrusis goes into game preview and available on Xbox Game Pass. Again, by the time you hear this, a 4-player cooperative FPS set above a massive starship. It seems like there's some really cool tech in terms of like how the characters interact and talk with each other. So it seems like it's got a lot of personality, which I think is really cool. And then next week, like you had mentioned, Rainbow Six Extraction, something that we'll be able to play together. And also Rainbow Six Siege, currently out in Xbox Game Pass for console. It'll be coming to PC also on the 20th.
Fantastic. All right. You got anything else there? Or we should probably wrap up because you and I have a meeting to get to.
I feel like someone's calling me and I can't, and I'm losing it. I don't have the audio right now.
All right. Oh, my goodness. Is that you, Rebecca?
Is that me?
I think it was. I think there's something going on. Anyway, we'll wrap it up now. First of all, again, as I said at the top of the show, friends, welcome back to 2022. We got a lot of stuff planned for you, a lot of great interviews, real cool stuff in store. That's the show for this week. Remember, you can follow us on social media, and if you don't know how to do that, well, I think you can figure it out. This is how you can find us right below. Find us right there. Any final words before we go? Rebecca, you got anything to share with New York before I let you go?
Eat a bagel. I don't know. That's about it.
Eat a bagel. Okay.
All right.
All right.
That's probably a sign to let it
go. Rookie mistake.
All
there
right,
we are. I'm back.
All right, Jeff, anything you want to say before we let you go? Because we're wrapping up the show. You're going to take us out.
Like and subscribe, Tay Swift. Thank you.
All right. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye, everybody.